Gemini, hello you gorgeous creatures. How are you this week? Welcome to your reading for the week of the 20th of June 2022. Thank you for being here. I'm going to draw a couple of cards out just to give us an overview of the week, and then we'll break it down, see what story we've got going on for you for the week, and any special messages that may come through for you. So the first card out is from the Chakra Insight Oracle. You've got the card Guidance, and the words on here are support, love, signs, and direction. Okay, looking up into those higher chakras, so third eye, crown, however you'd like to interpret it, it really does probably cover both of those. But to me, the guidance directions, it really speaks more to that third eye, so that intuitive psychic knowledge. I might actually just change things up. I'm going to put your week as a whole overall cards this side for today's reading. Apologies for the smoke. I did a massive smudge. You're the first reading of the day, so we've got quite a bit of smoke in the air still, so you get an extra clean space, my beautiful friends. We've got two cards out from the Rider-Waite Tarot. So interesting two cards to have. We've got the King of Cups, and we have the Five of Wands. Okay, so potentially Five of Wands is sometimes a little bit of conflict, competition for you this week. I'll just overlap him a little bit there so you can see him a little bit better. So yeah, interesting that you've got that. It might, the immediate sense that I'm getting without seeing any of the other cards is that if there is a situation that comes up for you in terms of potentially some conflict, competition, some challenging aspects this week, it's asking you to call into that higher knowledge, that guidance, that looking for signs, support, love, and so on. And that King of Cups also potentially leaning into really being the master of your emotions this week as well. So Gemini, we'll see how that relates to the rest of your cards. All right, you're chatty already. We are going to take all of those five. Okay, thank you guys. So the first card out is this Four of Swords. So I'm doing the same layout as last week if you were here. We have the Four of Wands. Okay, starting out with two fours. The Knight of Wands being the next card. We have the Queen of Pentacles. And then we have the Five of Pentacles. And we will go for four more cards to complete our out of the box layout. I am using the Tarot of Curious Creatures, again by Chris Ann, for the bulk of the reading. We'll take any clarifying cards as well, potentially from other decks as we need them. And as usual, I've called in my guardians, guides, angels, and ancestors who love me unconditionally and are of the highest vibration. I do invite you to do the same if you are so drawn. Okay, there's quite a lot of cards there, but I'm being told we're going to take them all. So, Six of Pentacles is the next card out there. We have the Seven of Swords, the Six of Swords, we have the Ten of Pentacles. This is going in our messages from the universe, and combining in with those overall messages for the week, and the Strength card. Again, outside of the box there. So, my beautiful Gemini. Interesting. All right, so the first thing, you've got quite a strong situation for your week as your whole, your overall energies. But when we break it down, you've got a few other things going on. So, for example, we've got this Four of Swords, which is sitting in that first position of the week as a whole. So, tying in with these energies, but this is maybe a little bit more of how you're going to be feeling mentally, emotionally. So this Four of Swords is telling me that you're being invited this week to really take that time out to rest and recover and recuperate. You've got, what have you got? So you've got the Three Swords here in this row vertically. So you've got the 4, the 6, and the 7. And so what that tells me is potentially this week you're going to be very much in your head. You're going to be possibly overthinking things, intellectualizing things, and you're being asked here to maybe just turn the dial down, quieten things down a little bit, and take that time to rest and recover, particularly if you've got this situation of potential conflict or competition, or that challenging energy that may come up for you this week, is using that rest period, using that guidance of the King of Cups to be that master of your emotions. Take that time to, and often I see with the Four of Swords, it's a nice opportunity for us to meditate, for us to really, if you're resting, don't be watching Netflix all the time or YouTube all the time. Take a time to meditate, tap in, have some quiet time, even if it's not meditating, just sitting in the dark, sitting outside with the stars. And it's an invitation then to tap in with that higher wisdom, that higher guidance, tapping into that third eye, that crown, and really receiving those messages from Spirit if you are that way inclined. The other thing immediately I want to point out here is there's a lot of indication that you've got quite a bit of stability. So we've got the 2 fours. So the 2 fours are basically a solid foundation. So we're starting the reading with this solid foundation. And you've got this Queen of Pentacles, again, a solid foundation. She's very grounded. She's very earthed in. She's, she's very well connected to nature. She understands that she has all that she requires in terms of resources. And it doesn't have to be financially, but it can be other resources. So it can be support systems, or even time can be a resource as well. So she understands that she's got this solid base of security and stability and support. And coming into support, that again is these additional 2 cards of the 10 of Pentacles and the Strength card. So that strength, I'd almost want to put that next to that Queen of Pentacles, because it's a beautiful kind of marriage of the two, because I do see this Queen of Pentacles as very much that gentle strength, that not having to overdo it. You don't have to force your strength on anyone, and that's really what this card is. And it really speaks to me of that Queen of Pentacles as well. It's a really gentle strength, and this 10 of Pentacles also, in your overall energy, your message from the universe, again, is leaning into that Queen of Pentacles. You've got more than you need. You've got everything in terms of material and resources and support, guidance, that kind of, feels very base chakra to me. So you really are tapped in, and this is really, it's your kind of your happy ever after without the 10 of Cups, but it's a happy ever after in terms of you've got everything provided for. You've got, you might have your house, you might have your family, you might have enough finances and time and all of those resources, all of those pentacles. And generally it does tie in with the cups. So you generally, obviously, it's a lot easier to have a full cup. It's a lot easier to have a full heart when we have that stability of having those other things around us. The other thing that is coming up for me, which was a message I got quite strongly for you this week, is that what I was getting for you, Gemini, is that you are no longer going to fit a mold that other people maybe want you to fit into. And the reason I'm saying this is this 10 of Pentacles is often seen as, here we got mum, dad, alligator, and the couple of kids. So sometimes that's our 10 of Pentacles is seen that way. That's our happy family. But what I'm being told is we don't need to fit into this mold anymore. So this 10 of Pentacles can look any way that you want it to be. And the message I also got for you was sometimes some of us don't have very strong relationships with our family, and often we're guided to find our own family. And I know that makes sense to you, because we go out and we find our soul tribe, we find our soul family. So this card here is kind of talking to me about you've got that support from your soul family. That's the sense I'm getting. And there is a saying, which again, I'm sure you've heard, which is blood is thicker than water. But the true saying, the actual saying, it's actually been shortened. And the saying is the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. So it's kind of been manipulated a little bit. And I just feel like that may be a message for one or many of our Geminis out there. And actually it came in for all of the air signs, is this standing up for who you are, standing in that position of who you are, that position of strength, and being strong and proud and saying, no, this is who I am, you know, take it or leave it, because I'm not changing for anyone. So that was an intuitive message. It not coming up so clearly in the cards, but definitely was coming up prior to the reading for you. Okay, now we'll just break down whatever else is going on in this reading for you. That Four of Wands, you know, again, it's calling into that, leaning into that solid foundation. It can sometimes be a celebration or some sort of commitment of some sort. It can even be seen as the marriage or engagement card as well. And this is actually sitting in the position of something that may come unexpected or a surprise this week for you. So if you're in a relationship, Gemini, I don't want to spoil any surprises for you, but there may be a surprise coming in. Okay. The next card out, the Knight of Wands, is sitting in the position of how we can stay grounded and focused this week. Look, there's not really much I really want to add to what we've said with this card, but the thing that is coming through here is that Knight of Wands is charging forward and they're looking for their next, or they're not looking for their next, they are continuing their passion. So they've got something that they're passionate about, that they love, that the enthusiasm, they're all fired up about. So in terms of staying grounded, I think is actually a combination of having this rest, but in this rest time, maybe you're called to tap into what it is that inspires you, what it is that sparks that fire for you. And I'm getting the sense, you know, the wands are often very creative. So it could be in this downtime, can you pull out the pencils and the pastels or the paints or whatever it is, or maybe it's the creative writing, but I'm definitely getting some sort of creative feel there. And, you know, it might be a perfect opportunity to turn the television off and get off Facebook and take that time to write. It might even be journaling as well. So do take it as it resonates, but certainly this staying grounded, staying connected to yourself this week is potentially related to whatever it is that brings you that passion and drive, my beautiful Gemini. And interesting, we spoke earlier about this Queen of Pentacles in terms of her stability, her groundedness. And I also spoke about that King of Wands in terms of being the master of your emotions. And so this Queen of Pentacles is sitting in the position of your emotions this week. So that really is confirmation for what we said there about being the master of your emotions. Being, when things are getting a little bit too hostile, a little bit messed up in this Five of Wands potentially, is being that master of emotions, being like this Queen of Pentacles, being like, just be super cool, man. Like, just stay connected to nature, stay grounded, stay compassionate, stay, you know, all of those beautiful, strong qualities that this Queen of Pentacles can offer. That really kind of stable base. And I think with that card in that position, you're not going to have any trouble with that this week. I think, you know, this Five of Wands, it may come up as a potential challenge for you this week, but I think with these cards in these positions, I think it's going to be quite a simple solve for you, if that makes sense. Okay, this Five of Pentacles is a little bit interesting. So it's sitting in the position of our inspirations this week. So certainly not a card I would generally think of for inspirations, but the message I am getting is to, if you're feeling a little bit in this funk this week, so if you're feeling a little bit out in the cold, feeling a little bit poor me, you know, what about me? Nobody cares. I'm all alone. Use that energy to have a different spin on it. So it's an invitation to look at it a different way. And the Rider-Waite Tarot has the beggars, the lepers out the front of a church, and the lights of the church are on in the background. And the message with this Five of Pentacles is that the help is there, okay, if you just turn around and ask for it. So that's the message I'm getting here, is don't get stuck in that energy. Move it on, because we've got the Six of Pentacles here is the next card. Move it on, move it through into that Six of Pentacles, where you know that you've got more than enough, where you know that you've been provided for now, and you can now maybe even be in a position of start giving back. And even if it's not financially, often people think of Pentacles as financially, it may be other resources that you're able to share. You know, you can see this chicken here is sharing her grain, her seed, because she's got to a point where she's now got enough. So it really is an invitation to, as we go around the outside of the box, it's an invitation to step it up from that Five of Pentacles into that Six of Pentacles, change that thinking, and move that energy into that more positive space. The Seven of Swords is in the position of your relationships this week. So there may be some lying, cheating, betrayal, etc. in terms of relationships this week. So just be mindful of that, particularly with this Five of Wands. I feel like that's the sticky energy for the week. And I feel like those two cards are obviously related. So this Five of Wands obviously may well be in terms of your relationships as well. So just be mindful. You don't have to be concerned, because if this comes up, you've got the support. You've got the King of Cups, you've got the Queen of Pentacles, you've got the Strength, you've got the Ten of Pentacles. So you know how to, and you've got the guidance from above, from your third eye. And so you know how to deal with this. And often some of the Five of Wands cards also talk about not taking it too heavily, okay? So looking on it a little bit more lightly. And even though the Seven of Swords as well can be quite a, you know, it can be quite a disappointment if you have been the receiver of betrayal, or even for some reason backstabbing is coming up, even though it's not really that kind of, the message is not really in that card. But that's the sense that I'm getting, is it's a little bit of a backstabbing vibe. So what I'm being told from Spirit is to just not get involved. Become the bigger person, you know, become that king or that queen who holds themselves with grace, like this Strength card, holds themselves with grace and, you know, nobility and assurance, and don't get tied up in the pettiness of these lower energies, because they are lower energies. And my beautiful Gemini, you're more than that. You're more than this pettiness, okay? I hope that makes sense. Okay, moving on. On the final position on the outside of the box, we have the Six of Swords. This is in the position of your career, my beautiful Gemini. So you might find that for some of our Geminis out there, you might be transitioning from one thing to another in terms of your career. Okay. And again, I'm getting the sense that it is linked in with this Seven of Swords, this Five of Wands. Okay. So I'm getting the sense that you are moving above in terms of ascension, in terms of your development, your growth. You're moving past this pettiness. You're moving into something that is more, you know, fulfills you more on a heart level and keeps you connected and grounded. So it is a transitional energy, the Six of Swords. So it may not be your final destination, but I feel like you may be moving from, in terms of career, from one thing into a slightly different way. And you know, it might just be a pit stop, okay, a stopover on the way somewhere else. But that's okay, because we know in this particular fable, the tortoise and the hare, we know it's a slow process, but we know that the tortoise ends up winning. And what I love about this card as well is that in that transitional period, You are, and again, with the Rider-Waite, this is going from choppy waters into smoother waters, if you know that card as well. But in this card, you've got the Hare sitting there, and the Hare is going to work as your guide, okay? As your guide. And so you are going to be always guided, provided for, shown the way. You know, you've got so many cards here that are really showing that support for you this week. And Gemini, look, I think that's it. I think that's the message for you. The only other thing that is just coming through as I'm doing an overall is really this indigo color. You know, we've got it here with the guidance card. We've got it here in the shawl of the sloth. We've got it here in the Seven of Swords. So I think this might be quite a big thing for you this week. This tapping into your intuition, tapping into your higher wisdoms, your higher knowledge, guidance, signs from above, signs from your guides. And the other thing is sometimes people say to me, well, my guides don't talk to me. And the only advice I can give is you've actually got to ask for their help. Okay, so people go, oh, you know, I've got all this stuff going on in my life, but my guides never help me. But they can't actually step in and help until you ask for their help, okay? So, and you may hear of guides coming in, you know, in emergencies, you know, excuse me, in like a, you know, a bad accident that is just averted, something like that. So they can and will sometimes step in an emergency, but for everyday things, everyday challenges, your guides aren't going to step in until you actually ask them to, invite them to. So initiate that conversation. Ask them to send you signs that you feel you're ready for, okay? So some people say that they see their guides. I don't see my guides. But some people say they see their guides and they go, oh my God, but that's so scary. I don't want to see something, you know. But you don't have to. So you can ask your guides to come in and give you messages that you feel you're ready for. So whether that could be, and it may even just come in as a thought in your head or in quiet meditation, you might see like a scene, like something unfold as a scene in front, like you're watching a movie. So that could be a message for you. Often it comes in as, for me, it comes in like a voice in my head, but it's not really a voice. And sometimes you're like, well, that's just me. That's just me thinking to myself. But you know that it's on a different level. You know that it's not, you know, it's not really me, but the words that I hear in my head are actually my words, but it's their messages. So I hope that does make sense. But because a lot of people think, oh, well, I'm not getting messages from my guides, but it's just you've got to learn how to see those signs and know what to look for, know what those signs are from your guides. And if you are new to this, you can ask for what it is that you want. So if you want a sign to be a purple feather, then say to your guides, look, you know, I'd love to know you're there. Just, you know, give me a sign of a purple feather. And it could be a purple feather on the ground. It could be an ad on a on a billboard. It could be something on television. It could be a lyric in a music that you're listening to. So whatever it is, you can ask your guides for whatever it is, that sign, for you to have that confirmation, for you to know that they're there. Gemini, I hope that helps. I hope you've had a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see you next week. Thanks, my friends.